So, good morning, everybody. So, today we will be talking about the injuries around the ankle joint. So far, we have discussed a lot of problems around the hip joint. We discussed the problems of the femur, the knee joint, the patella, the flexor both bones, and we are coming down to the ankle joint. You know, ankle joint is one of the most important joint of our locomotion systems. And another point is that it's invariably got injured, particularly twisted injury, fall, and particularly high heel shoes probably leads to a lot of catastrophe because of the uneven surface of the road and other conditions. So this is not a very uncommon problem. It is a very common problem we encounter in day-to-day practice in orthopedics. And many times this injury is limiting to the soft tissue, but sometimes extends up to the bone as well. So you need to address the soft tissue and bone. All are important for integrity of the joint and restorations of these functions back to the previous, back to the original position. Well, then injuries around the joints are common. It is mostly common because of the walking or any road to be accidents or any sort of injury. Twisted injuries are very common in road to be accidents. And if you are unable to address it properly in initial period of time, be it a ligament injury, be it bony injury, but it is true that it may lead to a chronic disability conditions, particularly in stability results which is prone to get for the to have frequent injuries subsequently if it is not properly treated. And if you see that this same injury may have got different sorts of injury after impact on young as well as adult and also elderly persons. So in old, same injury may cause more bony injuries. And in case of young, same injuries may cause ligament injuries. Why it is so? So once there is a twisted injury like this, necessarily this side, if you can see the here while the ankle is falling like this, then this side is stressed and medial side is being pushed. So there are two factors happening. One is pull and one is push. This leads to your stressing of the structures here. Now, while this structure is stressed, means ligamento osseous, osteoligament, means bone and the ligaments all are pulled. So while it is pulling, the structure which is weak is going to fail. On the other hand, that is the thing. So the structure which is weak is going to fail. So in case of young, it is the bone are very strong, so bone usually not fail. But compared to the bone, ligaments are a bit less strong, so that leads to your injury to ligaments mostly. And in case of your elderly, so same principle, same thing. So bony injuries will be more than that of ligament injury. So happens, but it is not always happens. But both the things may happen either way as well. So let us talk a little bit of ankle joint. Ankle joint is it is basically uniaxial joint or something. Like your elbow joint, you do have a flexion and extension. Here also ankle joint, you do have mostly dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. So it comprises between the three bones, you all know. Out of this, talus is very important. See, talus is here. You do have the lower end of the tibia, lower end of the fibula like this. So it is lateral malleolus, this is medial malleolus, this is plafon. So they combine together to form the.
ये भगवान और कोई पीजी बोले पॉजिटिव आ गया है क्या? मैट्रिन ऐसे क्यों पूछ रहे हो? Who is no guru him punishment?
Understand that both the things all are combining together to form the ankle joint. So an interesting point is that this articular the talus is mostly having maximum area of articular surface. Since it is superiorly being attached to the articular surface of the tibia, medially it is the medial malleolus, lateral malleolus, and anteriorly it is also articulating the navicular bone. So this leads to your maximum articular surface of the talus, and it has got less muscular or ligamental attachment. So we do have two categories of ligaments mostly, basically three. One group is between the tibia and fibula. One group is in the medial side, another group is in lateral side. Ligaments. So if you do see that the ligaments mostly This is a fibrous. You do have all these synovial joints used to have synovial membrane and capsules. That is the part. Besides this, we do have the ligaments. And the condensation of the capsules, particularly in certain area where there is more stress and strain, is there is strengthening or condensation of the capsule, actually, basically in other words. And this condensed part of the capsule is nothing but the ligaments. And the characteristic of the ligaments in the capsules are almost same. It is a fibrous in origin, has a more strong structures to hold it. In a case of your normal activities, the joint does not go displaced or go this way, that way. The ligaments plays a very important role for the stability and also helps us to do all the type of mobility with stability. Mobility with stability is because of this integrity. Mobility with stability because of the integrity of the ligaments. So in lateral side we have this, it consists of the 3 ligaments. That means in lateral side you have the fibula, you have so many ligaments here, mostly the anterior talofibular ligament. What is talus to fibula? One is this. Another is calcaneofibular ligament. One is calcaneum here, one is fibula here. Okay? So posterior talofibular ligament. So lateral side, these are the main important ligaments here in the lateral side, which is holding the important structure wall sort of thing. Say they are osteofibrous band or ligaments or structures which is holding and supporting the lateral side. So predominantly lateral side we have these 3 ligaments here as we mentioned, and also we do have the same thing there in the medial side also. Medial side with the ligament is mostly known as deltoid ligament. Deltoid means triangular in shape. Delta means triangle. An interesting point in deltoid ligament is that it has got superficial and deep layers. The superficial layers are tibio-calcaneal ligament, tibio-navicular ligament, posterior superficial tibio-talar ligament, and tibio-spring ligament. So these structures are there in the medial side. This is altogether known as deltoid ligament. Deltoid ligament has got 2 components. Mostly one is superficial, another is in the superficial we do have these 4 parts. A deep side is the anterior tibio-talar ligament and posterior deep tibio-talar ligament. These are the inner side. So while you look for these triangular medial structures, very important. It is triangular in shape, that is why it is called triangle. These triangular ligaments are basically of 2 layers, superficial layers and deep layers. The superficial layers are condensing in the 4 parts as mentioned, and the deep layer is condensing at the 2 parts, this anterior tibio-talar ligament and posterior deep tibio-talar ligament. So that way this joint is made stable with the medial ligaments and the lateral ligaments. So this is important for the integrity. On the other hand, inside between the tibia and the fibula, they are actually individual bone, but they are held together. How? It is held together because of these another groups of ligament here. This is between the tibia and fibula. See, they have got again 2 or 3 components. One is anteriorly, posteriorly, and inter. So this is basically interosseous ligament sort of thing. Interosseous ligament, you all know, it is there in tibia and fibula, and also you know in the radius and ulna. Down below, this part is more condensed, so this is called syndesmosis. Syndesmosis is not exactly a joint. We are holding the 2 bones together with some ligaments, and this is called syndesmotic ligament, which is holding and important for the integrity between this tibia and fibula at the distal end and distal end. So these things are there. So we know that you have medial ligament complex, lateral ligament complex, and in between 2, the tibia and fibula, we did another groups of ligaments complex. So this is how, what are the moments there? We do have dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, but inversions are not the moments of the ankle joint. They are subtalar movement. So below the talus, it is not. So you cannot have this moment like this. This moment, just like the supination, pronation there, is not a moment of the elbow joint. Such like here also, the inversion are not actually moment of the ankle joint. They're happening down below because subtalar joint. But ankle joint, mostly dorsiflexion and plantar flexions are the important joint movement. So now So that is about the anatomy and the integrity and the functions and the ligaments there which are important for the ankle joint. Now let us talk about the injury, how it may injury take care. As I said, that is most of the time it may happen because of the twisted injury. Commonly you find this problem is twisted injury, falling the ball, foot on an uneven surface and suddenly this twists this way or sometimes in this way. Commonly this way. So that will lead to a lot of your problems there. There may be rotational element also. That twisted injuries are mostly not only purely in this moment, but there may be rotational element as well. And beside this, sometimes there is a fall from height. This happens many times. That leads to your fractures, ankle joints, falling from the electrical post, falling from the ceiling, falling from the tree by the children particularly are not uncommon mode of injury in case of ankle joint. Besides, sometimes some direct trauma may also happen. Somebody is hitting on it or some heavy object falling on it, that may lead. Some skiing are also on a sports, adventure sports, particularly ice skating, or this also leads to a lot of injuries in around the ankle joint. So now if you do go for the classification, there's various classifications in it, but let's just talk to very simple things. There are Weber's classifications type A, B, and C. That is one classification. We'll talk about the lateral malleolus fractures there, which is mostly related to the fracture of the lateral malleolus, which is happening above, down, or in. So now, basically, we are more concerned about the LS classification known as Leigh-Hansen classification. The Leigh-Hansen classifications basically try to understand there are two things may happen here. One, this foot may go inwards. On the other hand, feet may go outwards purely. This is one. The foot may go this way or this way. This is more common. Now, two things may happen to it. One, there may be purely happening like this, one, or sometimes they are happening along with this body may rotate on it. So there are two. So there may be combinations. So this, and again, these rotations may be going a full circle or it may be half circle, some sort of. So it is very important to understand the mechanism of injury. Purely in case of your ankle injury, we do get more injury, twisted injury. Twisted injury again be two things happening here. One purely happening in the inwards direction is moving, another is outwards direction is moving. So inwards and outwards, okay, common. But beside this, there may be rotational element also. Supposing a person is falling on the road and he is purely falling, but equally he is also rotating his body, where the ankle point is fixed on the floor, on the ground, and his body is rotating. Besides having an inward force, so that lead to another group of injury. So it may sequentially, injury may take place, and it may go through full circle, it may go half. So that way, the extensivity of the injury also determined according to the positions of the foot and the mechanism of injury that may happen. That leads to a sequence of injuries. So purely try to understand that what may happen. The same thing may happen if the foot is going like this outwards, purely, that is to understood. Besides this, there may be rotational element. The body is also rotating on it. The foot is fixed, then body is rotating. That leads to another consequence of the events that lead to your. So that is called supination and pronation injury. Purely this is inversion injury. So inversion and inversion is the pure thing. That means if the foot is facing towards your medial side, it is inversion. If your foot is facing toward the outer side, it is your eversion. That is one. Beside this, I said that in the inversion, there may occur rotational element. Same thing happening there in the eversion also, there may be rotational element. So that is called inversion and pronation, supination and pronation. These things are combined together. So pure one thing, and there is rotational elements. That is why it is called, this injury is called supinatory injury, and it is called pronatory injury. So purely that may happen, or in case of rotational element, there is sequence of events will be a bit different. So try to understand the mechanism of injury. That is most of the time in twisted injuries happens. It is pure maybe inversion injury, pure eversion injury, then inversion with rotation and eversion with rotations may happen. These are the pure things you try to understand. So, and again, in a ski injury, another mechanism injury is supposing somebody is falling from the height, sleeping on the slope, particularly while skating. So if he is hitting on something happen, then this what is happening? The foot is striking on the pond, and the whole body foot is fixed. Then the other body is moving outward. The tibia is moving forward. So this is fixed. The tibia is pushed controlling. So that leads to injury also the posterior side of the ankle joint. So it's quite simple. That if he is hitting somewhere, he is sloping, he hit, and what will happen? Then the foot is fixed. The body is moved forward. So that leads to injury in the posterior side. So this all can be explained by the position of the foot and the mechanism of injury and rotational element as well. That leads to a consequence of the events that may happen. But most of the times we encounter most of the inversion and supination and rotational injury. So the picture is commonly seen in a clinical practice is that there is a swelling, there is pain, swelling, edema, restriction of the movement. So all these things are happening. Patients may have. Sometimes there may be devastating injury also that it may go for dislocation also. In extreme cases, it may ankle along with the fracture may go also dislocated. So that is your common pictures. It happens. Now to diagnose it. So you need to diagnose this case, and necessarily for diagnosis, you need to take the AP and lateral view. Another thing is that what is called Mottis view. Now I want to edit one thing here, that you will find the AP view is okay, AP view. Another is your lateral view, this is lateral view. This will speaks about the front line and this is called side line. But what is Mottis view? Mottis view is now that is fibula and tibia is actually not in the same plane. Same plane, it is lying posteriorly. So to see between these two, see in normal side, see this part is overlapping with that of the fibula. So this is simple AP view. But if you want to see the Mottis view, you have to do the rotational part, rotation to see this part. So as to this overlapping part is being counteracted, neutralized. So thereby you can see actually what happening to the syndesmosis, meaning joint between the tibia and fibula, as I said earlier, that is whether the joint is maintained or is being stressed out or there is an injury there, it is also being reflected by the X-ray. So purely to know the injury or radiological point of view, you're supposed to go for the AP lateral view, and to know about the integrity between the syndesmosis of this tibia and fibula, you need to go for the syndesmosis view. So this is a case of your fracture medial malleolus. It's what happened. So if a patient is coming, so many things may happen. One patient may come to, as I say, sometimes the X-ray may be negative, but there is tremendous swelling, pain is there, but X-ray is negative. What does it mean to us? That means he must be having some ligamental injury. And as you know, the soft tissue is not being revealed in the X-ray. So similarly, the X-ray only shows the soft tissue swelling, but not essentially able to speak about the integrity of the ligaments. So in these situations, probably sometimes MRI and other things may be important, note, and sometimes ultrasound study also may help you to know the integrity of the ligaments. But on the other hand, there are category of patients may have also various degree of fractures. One of the example of the commonly fracture happening is medial malleolus. This is the medial malleolar fracture here. Medial malleolus isolated. There may not be any other associated injury also. So there may be a purely see why it is happening. So it is happening because of the injury this side. Here it is happening. See, this is transverse fracture here, lateral malleolus. While the foot is moving this side inwards, it is pulling the ligaments which is attached here is pulling the fragment like this to have a transverse fracture. So transverse fracture is essentially talks about the stress X fracture, means is pulling leads your injury and transverse fractures. So that happens many times. So one is example, simple example of medial malleolus, simple example of the lateral malleolus. So there, see, there is a combination of injury. Now what is happening here? There is a combination of injury. Here the medial malleolus is also gone. It is lateral. That means combination of injury. One is commonly medial malleolus, one is pure lateral malleolus. Sometimes combination of this. Besides this, sometimes you may have trimalleolar fracture. This is called posterior malleolus, and particularly it may happen along with this rotational injury, or purely if I say that is skiing in your ice skating. So if he is falling like this, slipping, So what is the mainly foot is fixed here, the body is pushing because it fixed, it is moving, momentum of this force may lead to your thrusting this tibia anteriorly, that may lead to your purely posterior fracture. It may be a part of your rotational injury also because of the hinging on it, or purely it may be because of the mechanism injury. As I mentioned, skiing is hitting somewhere, then also lead to your momentum of this force may lead to your fracture like this. So these things are happening. And what is the treatment protocol? So now in ligamental injury, as I said, most of the time is a conservative treatment, and surgery is not essential, but it is true. It is sometimes situations where the athlete or a professional players whose ligament integrity is very important. You need to be very just. You have to be very logical in the sense that integrity of this part is very important. And in those cases, you may need to go for MRI, other investigations to see. And in certain cases, may need to go for operative treatment also, even in ligament injury. But on the other hand, most of the time, the ligament injury can be treated by conservatively, and most of the time, it can be treated with some sort of orthosis around the ankle joint binders or ankle binder, something like that. Or in certain cases, you may apply go for the plaster also to give rest to the part so that the healing process is not hampered. And certain cases where the fracture is not much displaced, that can be also addressed by the plaster. So plaster application is called Biloni boot. Biloni boot is there, how it is being applied, and this is a technique which is being applied particularly for the, it is called boot plaster or Biloni plaster. So this is basically to give the rest of the ankle joints. Sometimes even in case of ankle joint ligament injury also we do apply plaster, and even in case of fractures where it is not much displaced may be addressed with these plasters. Some operations. If the fracture fragment is more displaced, as I said, one or two examples I have shown, that if the fragment is going too much displaced, necessarily it is not being can be addressed by the conservative treatment. In those situations, you need to go for operative treatment. Depending upon the position and other things, you also determine. We have to select the implants. Also go for fixations. And as I said, 3 kinds of your problems we have shown. One is medial malleolus, one is lateral malleolus, one is your posterior malleolus. Sometimes combination of these three may happen. Sometimes individual fractures may have also happen. So you have to select in where what to do. So you can go for the various tension. See, this is supposing only pure medial malleolus fracture, it can be addressed with the malleolus screw. So that can be addressed with the malleolus screw. If sometime you may go for tension maneuvering, also this is called tension maneuvering, which is commonly done in case of flexor patella or flexor obliquus, but can be applied here is the medial malleolus also with the help of tension K-wire and the stainless steel wire. So that can be addressed by these techniques called tension maneuvering. This is medial malleolus fixations. One. Then sometime we may need to see, this is an individual fracture in lateral malleolus where we can fix it like this with a plate. Here one low profile plate is being applied from the lateral side. It is only for those cases where there is lateral malleolus fracture purely, other things are not there. So we have discussed about the modality of treatment of medial malleolus, how you can get fixed with the medial malleolus screw or tension maneuvering. Lateral side mostly it is being fixed with the lateral malleolus plate. And a screw and plate can be applied. So sometimes combination of these two may happen. So in those situations you may need to address both the medial malleolus and lateral malleolus always. And medial malleolus most of the time it is being addressed by this malleolus screw, but the lateral side mostly being addressed with the plate. So that is things happening. So there are so many complications may arise because of the infection of persons because of the following of persons, there are infections, non-union, stiffness, so many things may happen. On top of it, the instability is also important, particularly in case of conservative treatment being rendered to ligamental injury. So we have to address this part also. So thank you very much for your do you have any question to ask? Because ankle joint injury is not that uncommon, it is a very common picture we used to get into OPT as well as a casualty. And particularly high heel walking on uneven surface is one of the most common cause of your twisted injury around the ankle joint. It's a common picture we often get. So you need to be very cautious to treat it. we have not discussed about the compound fractures here sometimes, and also to extreme point sometimes dislocation may also take place. We are not going up to that depth, but you try to understand the mechanism of injury, how it happens, and also the simple treatment protocol for the ligamental and the bony lesions. Abdul, do you have anything to ask?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. तो इसको रिकॉर्डिंग क्या है ना अपलोड करना है। अभी हम एक तो ये ऑफिस से आता है साहब को मिल के आपका भी स्लाइड निकालो, अभी आप स्लाइड ठीक करो, अपलोड करो, आपको हम नहीं छोड़ेगा। आपको इतना दिन से आया नहीं है, अभी तो हमारा काम करो।
सर बंद कर दिन सर, सर बंद कर दियो सर, एंड कर दियो सर,
एंड कर